Lesson number 4, Nutrition in Living Organisms, Part 2. Welcome back, students. In this video, we are going to learn about nutrition in animals. This is Part 2 video of lesson number 4, Nutrition in Living Organisms. In the previous video, that is Part 1, we learnt about nutrition in plants. In this video, we shall learn about nutrition in animals. So let's start. Nutrition in animals. This concept refers to the body's need for nutrients, mode of ingesting food and its use in the body. Nutrients necessary for various activities of the body are obtained from food. They are supplied to the various parts of the body through blood. The food that we consume does not mix with blood as it is. It needs to convert into soluble forms that can easily mix in blood. Nutrition in animals involves various steps from ingestion to egestion. So let's learn one by one the steps in nutrition. First one, ingestion. That is, food is taken into the body. Second, digestion. It means conversion of food into simple soluble forms. Third is absorption. It means transfer of soluble food to the blood. Fourth is assimilation. Here utilization of absorbed food by cells and tissues for energy production, growth and repair. And the last one, that is fifth one, egestion. Here removal of waste products and undigested food from body. So these are the steps of in nutrition. Types of nutrition in animals. First one, holozoic nutrition. Amoeba does not have organs like hands and mouth. It is a unicellular animal. It can take in food through any part of the surface of its unicellular body. It surrounds the food particle from all sides to take it into the cell. After that, it digests the food with the help of different enzymes. Undigested food is left behind as the amoeba moves further with the help of pseudopodia. In unicellular animals like amoeba, euglena, paramecium, etc., all the steps of nutrition occur within their unicellular body. Whereas insects have mouth parts for ingestion of food. For example, insects like the cockroach and grasshopper which nibble have jaw-like mouth parts. Butterflies suck food with a tube-like proboscis. Mosquitoes and bedbugs use a needle-like mouth part to pierce and a tube-like mouth part to suck blood or other fluid. According to the type of food, animals can be classified as herbivorous, carnivorous, omnivorous. Herbivorous they use plants directly as their food. Example are grazing animals. Granivorous, it means seed eaters. Frugivorous means the ones who eat fruits. And carnivorous are the animals that depend on other animals for their food are carnivorous. Carnivorous are indirectly dependent on plants for food. Examples are animals that feed on herbivores, predators. Animals that feed on insects, insectivorous. And next is omnivorous. Animals that obtain their food from both plants and animals are called omnivorous. Examples are monkey, chimpanzee, human, etc. Some of the organisms around us perform the function of cleaning and conserving the environment by the very act of feeding themselves. They are called scavengers and decomposers. Scavengers obtain their food from dead bodies of animals, for example, vulture, crow, hyena, etc. Decomposers are some microbes which obtain their food by decomposing the dead bodies of organisms or other materials. Students, you have to write this difference between scavengers and decomposers in your notebook. Some insects, unicellular animals, etc. obtain the nutrients by observing the liquid organic material from the dead bodies of other animals or from the environment. This is saprozoic nutrition. Example, houseflies, ants, spiders, etc. This is the second type of nutrition, saprozoic nutrition. The third type of nutrition is parasitic nutrition. Some animals depend upon other animals for food. They can obtain the food only from animals on whom they are dependent. These are called as parasitic nutrition. Parasitic nutrition is seen in some animals. The dependent animal is said to be a parasite, while the animal from which a parasitic obtains the food is called a host. Parasite does not survive without a host. Therefore, it will not kill the host as in case of prey and predator relationship. Parasites are mainly of two types, ectoparasites and endoparasites. Ectoparasitic nutrition. In this type, the parasites are seen living on the body surface of the host and obtaining food by sucking the blood or blood juices. Example, louse, bedbug, tick, etc. Endoparasitic nutrition. In this type, the parasites live inside the body of a host. They consume the ready-made digested food from host. Example, tapeworm and roundworm. So students, in this way we have completed the lesson, Nutrition in Living Organisms. In the first part of the video, we learnt about nutrition in plants, and in second part of the video, we learnt about nutrition in animals. In your textbook, page number 33, and also on the screen, you can see the exercise given. You have to solve it properly in your classwork and also complete the activity related to it in your science activity book. In the next video, we shall learn a new lesson. Till then, take care and study well. Thank you.